All right, man. Everybody, welcome to the show. If you notice, we are missing one person, like our key person. We're not going to have Seth on the show today, but you do got me and Jabri. We're going to bring you an awesome show, man. Hey, man, how you been doing this week?
Hey, life is good, man. Life is good. Just enjoying this heat before before us Texas folk down here start complaining about it being 60 degrees.
Right,
You know
man.
how it is, man.
Man, I just saw on TikTok. I don't know if this was recent or not for you, but I just saw on TikTok, man. You just laid out a meal, some fried chicken, waffles, looked like some salmon croquettes. I think
Yeah.
that's what I was seeing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That
I did an event a couple weeks ago, man, for somebody's birthday, man. It's a pretty cool thing. Her husband did a surprise thing for her. I did all the cooking, and she had all the girls come over, and they enjoyed it a little bit.
See, I did a little cooking this morning myself, man. My wife had some guests, her cousin here to visit. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I thought I laid it out smooth, man. Then my shrimp and grits was too salty, and I felt like you ever think that you just laid it all the way out and then you just mess one little thing up and you just can't let it go?
It messed the whole meal up. It'll mess your whole day up, man.
Dog, I had
Yeah.
it laid out nice. The best paper plates. I was like, goodness gracious.
It's the thought
I,
that counts, bro.
yeah,
Next time think about it a little harder. Yeah.
they loved it, but man, I thought it was perfect. I thought it had to be perfect, and maybe that's the narcissist in me.
Oh,
You
it
know what I
has
mean?
to be. It has to
It,
be.
does that sound like something a narcissist would do?
Well, let a few people tell it. It will. It is, but I can assure you, bro. You put some real thought into it. So I doubt it's really anything narcissistic about that.
Well, you know what? I think we got a guest today that could let me know if my salty, if my salty shrimp, you know what I'm saying, and me
Right.
not being able to let it go is narcissist behavior or me just being a good guy. You know what I'm
Hey,
saying? Well, let's bring him on, man. See what he got to say about it. What's going on,
indeed.
Andre?
Hey, what's up, brother? You all right? Ah,
So what's up? Was it narcissistic for me to think my shrimp was supposed to be on point?
man, not narcissistic in a sense, but you had that inflated sense of, maybe that ego, it was gonna be good, and
And
just
it
had to
did turn
humble
out
you a little
good.
bit.
Well, hey, this is our first time having you on the Den, man. We appreciate you coming on. And since we got you on, why don't you tell everybody about yourself?
All right, man. I am Andre Charley, licensed therapist here in the Detroit area. Have a private practice called Affecting Change, where I look at pretty much any gamut of mental health support for men, women, kids, adults. It doesn't matter, couples, individuals, and just helping other people just have that place in life where they can have a safe place to talk and get some skills to move to go on to the next phase they need to deal with.
Hold on. Hey, I didn't mean to remove you like that, man. What was that last part you said?
All right. So, yeah, just to provide support for individuals that may need therapy, counseling, a safe place to kind of talk, get some skills to move further in life. And I'm a Detroit native, so yes,
Okay,
sir.
got you. Hey, so I'm gonna go ahead and kick this off if you don't mind, Jabri.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
All right, man. So the conversation we about to have, right, is about people being in love with a narcissist or somebody that they think is a narcissist, man. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times these words get thrown around without any sense of validation. It's just how they feel, right? So,
Yes.
can you break down to the audience what is a narcissist exactly?
So the word is used loosely, and there's a lot of individuals that believe that someone is a narcissist because they may be self-centered or they may not own the truth, and they may shift blame other people. However, when we're talking about a real narcissist, we're talking about a clinical definition. A narcissistic personality disorder is really what some of the traits you may see in people may be narcissistic traits, or it may be in common, but it's not narcissist. So You have narcissistic personality disorder, and it's involving a variety of traits that is clinically assessed by a licensed therapist. So many people aren't qualified to talk about that, but they often do. So yeah, it has a variety of categories that we can get into in a little bit about what a narcissist is.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And
so you just telling me that people just try to label you one, but they really don't have the qualifications to label you one, huh?
They do not. They just feel like they are kicking it with somebody and they're self-centered, or they're kicking it with somebody who can't own the truth. They're kicking it with somebody who always go off, or they're upset. And all of those behaviors can fall in the category of someone that's a narcissist, but in conjunction with several other things.
Gotcha. Hold
all
on.
right.
So let's get to this one real quick,
Right.
Jabri. So this is Danny. This is also one of our members. So she has
Nice,
a
Danny.
question. Yeah, she said, "Can you be a narcissist unknowingly? I don't think it's fair to be labeled a narcissist. You weren't even trying. I mean, what's up with that?"
Yeah, you can be a narcissist and not know you're a narcissist. In fact, there are the majority of narcissists, until they actually are evaluated and get diagnosed as having narcissistic personality disorder, do not know that they are narcissists. And when if there aren't in treatment, it would be very hard to have a narcissist tell you they're a narcissist. They don't realize they're a narcissist. So it's definitely unknowingly until we turn around and kind of do the assessment. Someone has to pretty
Gotcha.
much tell us.
Okay.
Mhm.
Hey, so we were having a really good conversation backstage, right? And I I truly believe that word is used way more than it actually should. But I also think that in today's society, with our culture and how we look at fast tracking everything, and we look to just really get our needs met in every certain aspect, and we live in a selfish society. And so, what role do you think our society actually plays in the definition being used like every day, like in everyday talk? Because I think with the small percentage of clinically diagnosed individuals that has narcissist disorder, why do you think so many people are able to just use it so willingly?
Yeah, and it's so. I guess the thing is, to clarify from earlier, it's not necessarily 5 or 6% diagnosed. It's just said from research that about 5 or 6% of the population is narcissist, whether they're diagnosed or not. But it is something that if there's only 5 or 6%, then statistically speaking, you all could not have that many that much experience with a narcissist. So I want to say that, but it's also something that when you're talking, I think I forgot part of your question. Can you state it again so I can get that?
Yeah, as far as the role that our society plays, why do
Okay,
you
right.
think?
Gotcha. The
Yeah,
role of society play. All right. And here's the thing: we're selfish by nature, innately, by
Mm.
drawn. So everyone has a sense of being selfish.
Mm.
You're taught how to not be selfish when we have all of the little play dates, and you're training your children with empathy and those things. So we're not innately understanding. That's why it's mine, mine, mine. No, mine. And
exactly.
so we grow up, and some people never understand that part, and for a variety of reasons they didn't get through those stages of development. It could have been trauma, it could have been a life altering event, they could have been incarcerated, it could have been a number of things that happened in their life that keep them locked in the area. And especially if you have someone that's still in phases where we would say arrested development, then you may portray some areas that may seem narcissistic,
Right.
but you didn't know how to own your behavior. You never learn really how to tell the truth because you're escaping and you always had to lie to get out of trouble or not get beat. So now it's just a way of life for you.
Right.
Hey, good points. Good points.
Mm-hmm.
So going on to what Seth's question here. What is that? What is that first part? What up, though?
What up,
is
though?
that?
That's what it is.
Who talks
what
like
up,
that,
though?
man? Hey,
It's
we are all educated on this panel. Let's not.
That is education. That's Detroit education.
Oh, is that what that
though?
is? I don't know. I thought you were talking about a baby deer. I don't know what
No.
Anyway,
It's saying
all right,
what
so
up.
you understood.
My
Okay,
bro.
I got it. Got
Yeah.
it.
It was
All
right
right,
over
hey,
my
so
head.
do.
Right over
So
my head.
Say what's
yeah,
up and hello.
But he wanted to know, why do people think that they could diagnose that trait? Because they do think that they could diagnose it.
Yeah, because we know it all. Everybody know everything. Everyone is self-centered in a way, and that person that's diagnosed don't realize they're self-centered, and they call other people narcissists. But here's the thing: they believe that they are attacked and they are a victim of certain things, and they only know certain words because now it's the happening word in the past few years. But hey, it's still the words that exist that, oh, you're self-centered. You're all about yourself. Let's use that. Let's not use narcissist.
Right.
You're not telling the truth. Why is it that you always get upset and go off on me when I'm trying to say what person is deflecting? That's not necessarily a narcissist. So we have to deal with those things.
So here's a question that I have, right? Hey, ladies that are watching right now, I want y'all to pay close attention to what I'm about to say. And I want y'all to chime in. You know, I want you to tell me what you think about what I'm about to say. Accountability. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times I feel like women have a problem with accountability. And since they can't see themselves as the problem, never, ever, ever, they say they're dealing with a narcissist. But my question to you is, how, when a woman thinks this way, right? Because let's be honest, sometimes they might be really dealing with one. I'm not trying to invalidate everybody's feelings.
Right.
But if a woman has an idea that they are dealing with a narcissist, right? What traits should they be looking for and what should they do?
All right, moving forward. There's several. So we might as well go through the traits, because even though you feel like when I say this is not for you to say, yep, there he is, I knew he was, because it still has to be a clinician licensed in order to evaluate this. But so there's 9 categories, and a person has to fit at least 5 of the 9 to be a narcissist in the consideration of a narcissistic personality disorder, clinically diagnosed by a licensed therapist, clinician. Inflated self-esteem, a grandiose sense of their self-importance, and I'll just name off: craving admiration, exploitative relationships, a lot of manipulation going on, little to no empathy. Typically, is all about themselves. Again, identity is easily disturbed if they are criticized. They're shook. Lack of attachment and intimacy, feelings of depression and emptiness, a sense of entitlement, and they can feel like others are envious of them, or they may be envious of others. And so, like, within those categories, there have to be supporting evidence which a clinician would evaluate and go through and kind of work through that. And there is no cure for narcissism. It is only that you can become more aware through talk therapy, and someone that actively participates in talk therapy will, because it's hard. It is a hard disorder. It's a personality disorder where that individual may have some of the features that are like arrogance, lack of empathy, and self-centeredness. However, we don't know what we're dealing with, because even in those categories, how does it show up in you, and what makes you, and what are your triggers? So a therapist has to go through that, and they become self-aware. So that's what you'll get: coping skills, become self-aware, understand how it impacts you and what you can do. So your girlfriend may not be able to, your boyfriend may not be able to identify that you're a narcissist, but they may be able to say, hey, I see some things that are concerning.
Got
Hey,
you, man.
so I'm listening to the different things, the different traits, right? The 5 out of 9 traits. To me, it really sounds like social media, right? Everything that you said is what everybody puts out on social media, the attention seeking, the grandioso attention seeking. So again, I was talking about society earlier. I think social media plays a huge role in that, and how it's developed over the years of really just sharing with family and friends when everything first came out, to now, you don't even really know who people are because they give you a certain type of image to project themselves,
Right.
and then but now they're calling other people narcissists, and you look at their social media accounts, and everything that they exhibit on their social media is, to me, I believe, within those traits.
Okay.
So you saw that I hit that half court jump shot on my page, right?
Oh,
I think I shared it, but I think I shared it like 4 times. Is that part of narcissism? I
You
agree with
wanted to be known. You wanted us to see. You wanted to pull the attention from other people to you.
Yeah.
You got to see that shot, man.
But that's only that you were attention seeking.
So it's not necessarily narcissism.
You were just attention seeking.
So here's the thing. I think we all exhibit traits of it, though, at certain points of time, right?
Well, it wouldn't be traits of narcissism per se, for real. It would be human behavior.
Okay.
Where that's who we are. I mean, we all have moments where we exhibit 1 or 2 of those things. That doesn't mean that. So these are lifestyles. These are what everybody. So to go deeper in that area, like for instance, at the core of a narcissist, they are trying to be somebody that is worthwhile, somebody that feels good, superior, and all that, but they are actually empty inside. They are trying to make themselves look good to others to get fulfilled because they don't have that. They want to look good because if they get any criticism, they're crushed. They're like a house built on sand, a house built with cards. A wind blows, they cannot handle any of that. So you have individuals that get stuck in that area and they don't know how to kind of navigate even social relationships. So it's all about that. So they take the negative part of life and they don't know that they're actually just trying to make themselves feel good, but they're hurting other people. It's always at somebody else's expense. So that's why it's not necessarily, easy to diagnose, and it cuts across everybody. It's not just you. It's going to show up in all of the relationships, all of their connections. Friends are going to experience it. However, there is a point where a narcissist wants to look good in front of other people, and they will fool almost everybody, even though their behaviors show up. So if we take a certain person that is in the media that's running, everything that he does is for, no matter if it's good or not, it's for the attention of self and to become put on a pedestal. It may benefit you if I do this, but it's only that I get glorified in the end as long as I'm validated. If you think back to the checks which he did not, provide, he only held it up so he could sign them, so he can get the validation from people. That's a narcissistic trait. So I'm going to make you think that I'm doing something for you just so that I can be looked at as the one and get all the attention. Everything I do is for my own glorification because I need that. Otherwise, I'm going to crumble. Which, like his infatuation with crowds, which is nobody there, but he's going to make you believe in it. I mean, it's so many areas. You have people that they're grandiose in that way, but then you have the individual that lacks empathy. No matter what you do, you're not going to get them to see your point or get them to be empathetic to your point of view, even if they hurt you. They're going to be the individual that say, you caused me. If you didn't do, you were the reason why.
Ooh.
and they're not going to own that. They have the delusion of superiority, and it's not, the behavior isn't what they're trying to portray. It's just in them. They didn't, whether it happened because they were abused, or their parents portrayed these same traits and it become learned behavior. They didn't get something, they didn't get enough, or they got too much of growing up. You create narcissists. So those are individuals that are missing some, or got too much, or saw this behavior modeled for them. And so that's one area. And then you become a victim, and you envy everything, but you try to make sure that you can get that. And you got to be the man. If somebody else looks better than you got to make sure. It's so deep. It's so many areas.
Bro, hey, you really, I'm gonna get back to some of that stuff you just talked about, because I mean you kind of open my eyes to some things that I want to get deeper into, but I got to get to this question by James real quick. It says, what are the character traits that are opposite of a narcissist? All right, you know, and he said a whole bunch of. They know I don't like reading, so I don't know why he's writing all these big paragraphs. But basically, that's what he said, right? You know what I mean? So what are the opposite? What is the opposite of a narcissist?
Yeah, so I think he said it was the second part of that. They can do research and maybe
let me go back to it.
Because then go do research what a narcissist isn't and just start to emulate those opposite traits. They don't have the ability to. They can't. A narcissist can't operate out of what they're doing. They can only become aware through talk therapy and a good clinician to be able to help coach them through it, because a narcissist doesn't know they're a narcissist. So they're not going to go look up opposite traits. This is who they are. This is what was created within them. So, anything opposite would be caring, self-support, assured, have independence, looking out for other people, making sure you have the ability to care for others and show compassion. All of these areas, they're delusional on the narcissistic side, but it's not that they necessarily want to be. It's what they are, So it's not that they could just go pretend not to be. They're damaged goods, It's like the bunny. It was described by one of the clinicians in the field, like in the Easter basket. They're the chocolate bunny that looks really good and stands there and looks so tasty, but it's hollow inside. They don't have the ability to be able to just go do that on their own.
Man.
So speaking of past traumas, you kind of mentioned that a little bit. So I grew up without my father. He was in and out of my life, mostly out, and then he passed away at a relatively early age. I'm 45. He passed away at 51, so it's like right around the corner, right? I believe that certain aspects of my personality, certain traits that I have, stem from the position that he never played in my life. And I think it can be looked at in certain aspects. I'm sure in my lifetime I've been called a narcissist maybe a time or two, right? But based on some of the things that I didn't address, and I didn't peel back those particular layers, I'm sure I exhibit some of the traits that could be labeled as a narcissist, right?
Sure.
He wasn't around, so I wanted to make sure that I never felt that pain again. So I sought certain things, or I was looking for certain type of attention elsewhere. For people who've exhibited past traumas and maybe going through some of that stuff, what type of advice would you give those individuals? Other than therapy, you know what I mean? Because some people don't even realize some of the layers that they haven't peeled back in their lives, even at an older age, right? Because I'm still realizing some of the different things that affected me because of that, and I think I'm in a much better place now. But I definitely have been accountable for the different actions that I've taken.
Yeah, you said you've been accountable for the different actions you've taken, which is good. Being aware, understanding how you may respond is one thing, but if you are unaware and you have individuals that are close to you, they'll let you know if you have a real friend or have somebody that's really next to you in a relationship. The relationship is really a mirror. It's going to show you where you are falling short. You are going to be made aware through your discussions, through your disagreements, through your arguments, where you are struggling. And if this is an area in which you have a strong weakness in, you've heard that same thing from other people, so everyone can't be wrong. So when
Mm.
you start hearing themes, you become aware and you say, let me address that because this is a theme I'm hearing. And if you really want to do the work, you're going to start there.
We
That's a
and
good. That's real
it
good.
it really is. And now it's time for me to get into it, because when you was discussing some of the traits about a narcissist, and I like to joke around a lot, but man, I felt like you was talking right to me. I like, hold on, man. Are we friends on Facebook? I like, what? How is he talking to me? Because
Yeah, I got more too, so we gotta get some more in
man,
there.
hey man, I might have to hire you after this. But anyway, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was listening to what you were saying. Like, one of the things that you said is, you caused me to be this way. You caused me to act that way.
Mhm.
And I feel like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's something that I say. Like,
Yeah.
I'm normally just chill, and then next thing you know, you start messing with me, and I react that way, right? I
Mhm.
react in a certain way.
Mhm.
Man, I know if my wife was listening to this right now, boy, she'd be waiting for me
Yeah.
upstairs.
Right. Yeah.
So after exhibiting some of these traits, right? Not to say
uh,
I am a narcissist or not a narcissist, but after exhibiting some of these traits, after you become aware that, okay, this is something that you have an issue with, you know what I'm saying? And what Jabri said, and you start going to therapy. What are some of the changes that people should be expecting to be able to achieve short term and long term after they recognize that they are following some traits of narcissism?
well, traits is different than actually being diagnosed as having narcissistic
Okay.
personality disorder. So traits it can be just that I need to learn how to take accountability. I need to be able to follow through on my word. I need to be able to own my behavior when I'm called out on it. I need to learn how to have more compassion or empathy. Some people that grew up in a single parent, not single parent household, but if they're the only child, that's hard for them. That doesn't make them a narcissist. So that just is character traits that we have based on our environments. So I may not know how to share. I may not know how to get along with other people because it's all about me, because it's always been all about me. That only makes you self-centered and liking your own things because that's what you grew into, because you were the only child. I never liked to share with my cousins. So we always fought about it, stuff along those lanes. In addition to the area where we may talk about traits, it becomes an area where it's extreme, though. You have an extreme, exaggerated sense of self-importance. It's all about you, nobody else. You have a
Mm-hmm.
strong desire to be admired all the time. There is no off time. There is no break. It's all, these are extreme behaviors. That's why it's a difference between having some traits and being a narcissist
Gotcha.
in the clinical definition. Behind those grandiose feelings I was saying earlier, that sense of superiority is a fragile person that is easily broken. That's why they're not going to let you see that side. You will not see the vulnerability of a person that, I would say, not NPD, which are the abbreviations for narcissistic personality disorder. Um, you have an area where they will put you down and make you feel less than. Constantly comes down to me or you. If you call me out on something, I'm gonna call you out on something. I'm gonna make it bad, and it's going to be rough. So you don't get the opportunity to ever win with a narcissist. The individuals that they have thoughts, feelings, emotions, and they need to be above all people at all times. It doesn't matter. These are extreme behaviors, and you have to understand that that doesn't just mean a trait. That doesn't mean two traits. You have to have about 5 of these continual traits all the time in order to be able to be diagnosed as a narcissist, which only is said to only be about 5%. Now, 50 to 75% of those of that 5 are men, but then you have women as well. And imagine if women already at the core can outtalk a man and outmaneuver a man. It's no secret. They use their brains, they use all of their skills, and they're sharp. And to actually have NPD on top of that can be really rough. So it's some of those areas that we really have to understand. These are extreme behaviors that's continually going, and there's no ends, no outs. This is them.
Man, so being a narcissist, right? It sounds pretty extreme. So
Extreme.
what can somebody expect when they're trying to maintain a relationship with one?
So you're trying to maintain a relationship with one, understand that they have.
Yeah, I love them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love that.
You do, and they have a high probability of cheating, lying, going behind your back, overtalk you, make you feel less than, anything to have that gratification of fulfillment. That is something that can be a constant thing to someone that is not self-aware and someone that is not doing the work. It is your odds are much better of having a healthier relationship with a narcissist that has owned that they are a narcissist, and 2, somebody that has been in therapy. So you have all those areas that are supportive of that. If you have someone that's not in therapy, then you have areas that can be very detrimental, and it can cause you pain. It can cause you hurt. It can cause you a lot of things, but don't blame yourself if you're in that. You didn't really know what you were in until you were in, because they're charismatic. They're going to win you over. They're very intelligent, very smart, conniving as well, can manipulate. They can run you all around, and before you even know you exercising, you're about to pass out. But that's how smooth somebody with NPD can be.
Man.
And you're thinking on top of the world. Do not own their behavior though.
Okay.
And that's their behavior. Give it back to them. But you can't go in the area of emotions, because a narcissist does not operate in emotion. Only their emotion, not yours. So you have to stick to facts. If you're calling them out on something, or you're addressing something, or need them to do something, only deal with the facts. That's it. Just the facts, ma'am. Just the facts.
Follow up with that real quick. 1 second, Jabri. You said
no
cheat. You said cheating, right?
Yeah.
Why is cheating part of narcissistic behavior?
That whole that need is you're not fulfilled. It's always something. Self-gratification, grandiose. It's all about me. My girl didn't give me the attention I need. I'm going to go get it somewhere else, because I cannot not get it. I must. It is who I am.
Okay, that makes sense then, man. Because I always see when women again, now that we know that they have to be diagnosed, right? But still, when I see women talk about it online, just because they man cheat, they feel like he's a narcissist just because she got cheated on.
And then cheat, and then he didn't own it when he got caught. Who really owns their behavior? Who really just says, all right, you got me? No, you're going to have to prove it. And then it is what it is. All right, I'll deal with it. It's just that person didn't own their behavior. But that's when you have someone that hasn't done any work, So when they're doing work, you can call them out on stuff, and they can become aware, and they know they own. When they're self-aware, they know their stuff. And so they can say, all right, I want to, but I know that wouldn't be the best thing because they've done some work. I heard there's a couple of people that are self-aware narcissists that have YouTube channels and everything. And one of the guys said, that I don't cheat on my wife, but if I did, that would be a common thing. I'm a narcissist. Because there's no cure. There's only awareness. There's no medication for it. There's only talk therapy that can help you maneuver and how to balance your emotions and be someone that does it in an effective way where you're not disrespectful or hurtful to the people that you love.
Hey, so I do have a question, man.
Yeah.
So as men, we tend to get called narcissists quite often. Women usually tend to call us out in that way, and of course, I have my own thoughts. I usually tend to think it's when their needs are not being met in the way that in this box that their needs want to be met. If they're not getting that particular thing, then of course it has to be something else, right? Other than them. But as far as men getting called out more than anything, one would tend to think that, hey, men are mostly narcissists, right? If we're being called out. But one could also think, hey, is there a reason why that is happening in that way? Is it because of a certain thing? Is it because of the makeup of a woman or whatever the case may be? Because it's hard for me to believe that every woman that deals with a man that doesn't work out is a narcissist. And of course, everything that they did was completely above reproach, right?
Right.
So,
absolutely.
Yeah. So that's the question I have. Like, why is it that the female gender tends to lean towards that rather than men, right? We'll say different stuff. We'll say she's crazy before we call her a narcissist.
Right.
And yeah, so why do you think so?
Hold on. Okay. I'm gonna put my Dr. Brown hat on now.
I appreciate
Dr.
that.
Herman hat.
I was waiting.
Because women don't like accountability, man. You know what I mean? If they can't call them a narcissist and point the finger, then they got to turn that mirror around and look at themselves. They don't like to look at the mirror and look at themselves for any kind of problem. Am I right or am I wrong, Andre?
They're not. No. They're not trying to look at themselves under no circumstance. It's in the answer your question. It's a word that they got a hold of in the beauty salon, on social media, and girl, yeah, he a narcissist. They always about themselves. Oh, okay, so that means somebody is all about themselves as a narcissist. Not really. That's not. But that's the going word. Just like fashion. This is the word for now. That's the fact. This is the color for the season. But this thing been staying around for a few years, so But they just got a hold of it and they ran with it because somebody said something. But that's not it. That's not it at all. You have so many extreme behaviors with narcissists that you would have a hard time being with one, living with one, marrying one. But it is so many areas. I'll go down some more areas because you will not be able to easily shake a narcissist, and you're not having a bunch of good conversations at home with a narcissist. It's just not going to be a healthy environment with somebody that's a narcissist. You're going to be devalued, attacked, broken down, beat down, manipulated, and feel like you only need them in your relationship. They're going to push you away from everyone to make you feel isolated, and now you become dependent on them, and then they become your validation, they become your strength, they become your guide, they become all of that. So you have so many areas where it's a narcissist that, again, only 5% of the population is said to even be able to have narcissistic personality disorder. And there's no statistical way that this many people are meeting narcissists. You're not. You're meeting people that just won't own their stuff. You're meeting somebody that just is an abuser. You're meeting somebody that's emotionally unstable. You're meeting somebody that was in trauma growing up, and these are the behaviors in which they portray in order for them to feel safe, or they don't even know what they're doing. But that does not mean they're necessarily a narcissist. You have a few things. So when we talk about a narcissist, they may be in the area for alienation. They don't want to be around people sometimes. You know, they just go and be recluse and just stay alone. Don't want to talk to many people. You have I talked about being grandiose earlier. The self-esteem comes from other people and situations. You know, I don't have self-esteem myself, so I need to be able to look to others to get that feeling. I'm going to typically be reactive to whatever is going on, and it doesn't mean that I am happy. I'm going to make other people feel like I'm happy and everything feels good and looks good. And then I get home, I'm going taking everything out on you because I still got to look good in front of other people. There's a lot of different things that we call cognitive distortion. So something small, I'm gonna make really big, and then I'm gonna blame you for whatever. And that's not something that you can really understand. But then when there's something really big, I'm gonna minimize. I'm not gonna own that. Why are you tripping? Because I'm gonna see that you're tripping.
Right.
But I'm not gonna recognize if I'm tripping because you made me trip, or I'm tripping because this is big to me. And it's not really big for real, but I'm gonna make you think like it is. And I'm gonna deny, and I'm gonna lie, and I'm gonna make sure that you're going to second guess yourself by the time you get done talking to me, because I'm gonna make you feel like you're foolish and you are the one that saw something different. You could have seen it, and I'm gonna tell you didn't, because that's my issue. That's why if you do make it out of the relationship, you got to close the door, and don't just don't leave it open, don't leave it cracked, don't just close it, lock it, forget the key, forget the combination. Do not, because a narcissistic personality disorder person is not going to ever stop seeking. They don't have the ability to.
Gotcha.
They got to win in everything. That's why I know you have not met that many narcissists. The last 4 boyfriends were narcissists? No.
Yeah, the odds the odds are not that.
Yeah, you got to have all of these extreme behaviors.
Yeah,
and they
you just happen to run into 4 of them in a row.
Yeah, it's not happening.
So just because a man's ringtone is "It Wasn't Me" by Shaggy doesn't mean that they necessarily are narcissists. It might just like the song, right?
So is that your ringtone?
No, well, let me.
I'm just saying. I was just asking.
What had happened was.
No, for real, it's not.
Hey, real quick, this is a question that was asked in the very beginning of the show, so I don't know if John's still here, but it's interesting. It said, real quick, 3 well-known or famous narcissists. Do we know any?
Oh wow, let me see. That's gonna be a Google question.
Yeah, do we know anybody that was diagnosed as a narcissist?
Right.
It's probably do we know of any that are of note?
Because that's not something that people really knew.
Yeah, back in the day, like Napoleon or something like that might have been a narcissist.
You know, could have been, but based on some of the behaviors that we know about people, but I'll have to look that up.
Come on now.
Yeah.
So let's all right. So we don't know if anybody diagnosed.
All right.
But off the top of the dome,
that's what I was about to ask.
Who do we think? Or is that irresponsible? We sound like the women now.
We over here trying to diagnose people.
No, this ain't that ain't no.
Let's leave that
all right, we don't know of any. We don't know of any.
Those are what I'm saying is people's opinions, but it ain't no fucking You know, that's what people.
So
think.
I do
that's
have
the
another
problem
question.
with social media and the internet.
I do have another question. So my last question was in regards to women. So I got to be balanced. I'm a balanced person, right? And so I usually say that. Well, people tend to say that women are more emotionally intelligent than men. But my true belief is, I think women are emotional, but men can be, and this is not all cases, but men can be emotionally intelligent because they don't allow their emotions to dictate their actions at times. And so, with those emotionally intelligent men, because we're not talking about people just out there and doing whatever, with those individuals, how can we become more aware as men, and really almost kind of police ourselves for individuals that we see with those particular traits, right? Is that something that we should do, or should we just leave that to the people in those relationships and stay out of people's business?
Well, individuals have to understand self and their own feelings and their own emotions. And women could navigate in a way in an area that men can't in some instances, but it's also based on how that individual has been reared, what they've been taught, what they've seen. Because if you were taught empathy and you were taught how to own your behaviors, you were raised in a house with 6 kids and your parents taught you all how to share, how to provide and look out for one another, how to be compassionate toward one another, how to look out. You went to the soup kitchen and you fed people. You gave lunches out down in our area where maybe the homeless are. Then you may have a lot more emotional intelligence than a female, and you may not even understand on that degree as a female because maybe you were the one that was the only child and you didn't necessarily have to learn all the things they learned, and you may have grown up with a little privilege so you didn't have to go out and do certain things, or you were the one that necessarily just received everything because you grew up without, but you were the only one and you didn't have to share. And so it just those and it's individuals, and everybody has to kind of move and through their own thing because it's pretty unique in certain
Mm,
situations. And if you get two healthy, emotionally intelligent people, that's going to bring you to an area of peace and prosperity and help you all grow. When you have an individual that is maybe emotionally intelligent and one that may not be, where you may have someone that you say a whole person and a half person, you're definitely going to have chaos and you're going to have turmoil, and it's going to end up in disaster if you both are uh, half, because now you have a household that's just erupting and you can only erupt so long until the thing spontaneously combust. So
right.
it's time to do some work. It's time for us to understand our issues and work together, because I also add, even with, so for instance, with NPD, there are typically other uh, disorders or things that go with that. It can be another personality disorder as well, or it can be depression, can be an eating disorder like anorexia, or substance use. It's so many areas that kind of mimic one another, but can also be in conjunction with when you truly have a person that is a narcissist. So I will say, as far as the things where I talked about earlier, is how to navigate sticking to the facts,
Mm-hmm.
remove emotion. Do not get emotional with the narcissist because you're going to always lose. Stick to facts and only facts. You may break down later alone by yourself, but it's something that you have to do. And understanding that they're seeking validation. So you can provide validation with them wherever you see their point, and even it can look like, I am sorry that what I did made you feel that way. This is what was going on in that instance. Or I did this. I didn't do what you said, but this is what I did, and this is how it went.
Right.
So you may not per se what you, if you're talking about somebody win or lose, but you're presenting your situation and your circumstances to the person so that they can work out their own situation that they feel like internally, and let it be known. But you got to be very careful, because if a person is not aware that they have narcissism, you're going to be hard pressed to get them to see any of this. It's been stated that a couple of people that I know, it had to be their wife was going to leave, and said, I believe you're a narcissist and I'm out of here. I can't take it, before they realize I need to get some assistance.
Gotcha.
So it has to be a big enough draw for them to kind of get some type of assistance. And I don't like using therapy as a weapon. So it's hard because you don't want somebody to come because they're a wife, but to try to talk to them and help them understand that you think that they can benefit from speaking to someone, making it not, oh, if you don't get therapy, then I'm going to leave you. They get therapy or else. That's not a good thing.
Gotcha.
Become resistant, you know. It's
Okay,
already hard for them to come.
Gotcha. I'm glad you brought that up, using therapy as a weapon.
That's good.
But one question I got in your professional, in your line of profession, have you noticed that narcissism or NPD looks different between women and men? And if so, what does that difference look like?
So you're going to have the same traits. You're just going to have a female that operates like the female, but they're going to be the same types of traits.
Okay, so it's really pretty much so it's no difference really in between the genders of what narcissism is.
Mm-hmm. You use the same criteria to diagnose, so it's going to be the same. Now you're going to meet 5 out of the 9. Now they can, because women's behaviors can be extreme in some areas anyway, but you have females that are definitely regulated and they don't have all of the emotionality that we see that we complain about or we would like to adjust. And then you have some individual that is diagnosed as NPD and it's going to be, that much more.
Got you. All right. Well, so for my last question that I have, because we've talked about it, and I know we laughed about a lot of things, because I feel like in humor you got to find truth, right? Mm-hmm. That's always been my approach. Mm-hmm. So truthfully, we brushed up on it a little bit inside this conversation, but truthfully, what should people look for when they are dealing with somebody that is full blown? They have NPD. I said it like it's some kind of disease, but they full.
The individual that has been diagnosed as having NPD.
Yeah, they have full blown NPD. I'm messing with you. No, they have it. I know you said. I like what you said is because I want to go back to it. Don't own their behaviors. You said don't own their behaviors. Let them deal with their behaviors. Like when a person is dealing with that, they're in the storm. Mm-hmm. What kind of resources are out there for to help them deal with that?
Yeah, so definitely one, there is the ability for you to attend therapy. So that's also an option for you. So you will learn ways to kind of manage, and because you're really walking on eggshells when you're at home with a person that has narcissistic personality disorder. So you are really, really emotionally dysregulated because everything is heightened and your central nervous system is responding. So learning how to navigate effectively in those areas is really important. So making sure that you try to find a good therapist, acknowledge what you're feeling, acknowledge your pain, acknowledge what you're going through so that you don't minimize it, so that you have a realistic idea yourself. And I said earlier, not to blame yourself. Forgive yourself, and forgiveness can be a process because you know what you've gone through. Some people feel guilty what they put their kids through because they saw the red flags, but they didn't do anything. But you only know what you know in the moment. It's not, anything that you know in advance. And remembering that we have flaws. So even you have the flaw if you made the decision to be with someone. We all want love. So it's not that you just knew, but be wise, don't leave yourself open when you have gotten away until that person becomes aware through therapy, which is going to be a lifelong process, and let them prove to you but chances of that happening are very slim. So just make sure you kind of go and stay safe, stick to what you know, and that's pretty much a good place. But going to therapy is going to really help understand how to navigate what you're going through.
Yeah, so I don't have any more questions, but I do want to take this time to say, man, I appreciate it, man. I think this conversation should definitely be something that is continued and talked about. Because again, I said it before, I think the word is used too flippantly, right? We're just throwing it out there when needs aren't being met, or we want to change the narrative to make us seem some type of way in a relationship. So just to bring attention to it, and not only attention, but actually healthy dialogue, because a lot of times when it's brought up, men are talking at women and women are talking at men, but nobody's actually having a conversation. And so, just taking this time to say thank you for coming out. Thank you for sharing your wealth of knowledge. And then on top of it, definitely leave some information where people can contact you if they have questions, or if you have any type of social media. People would love to get in contact with you.
Yes, sir. But social media is there. Affecting Change Charlie is on IG. Andre Charley on LinkedIn. The therapy site will be affecting-change.com. And you can send a message, you can talk, because this is a lot. This is really just scratching the surface. So it's a lot of areas where people are hurting and they need some help to get to the point of healing and recovery. So that's my information there. And, unfortunately, I can only do therapy in Michigan, the great state of Michigan, what up, though? But I know people around the country that I can probably find someone in most areas that assist you.
Yeah. You know what, guys? I noticed something about this show. Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. I noticed something about this show that I didn't get the full screen at one time, and we got to change that. You know what I mean? Like I didn't get the full screen one time, and that doesn't happen on the.
Who was in control of the screen, bro?
I know. I was like, how did I not get at least one full screen? And I was controlling it. You know, man, it's crazy.
You want to prefer us.
Andre, I really want to thank you for coming on and having this show with us. It's like Jabri said, that the word is used a lot. And to be honest with you, after having this show, I understand why the word is used a lot. You know what I mean? Because those traits are pretty rampant, you know what I'm saying, within relationships. So I could see why a lot of women and some men feel like they're dealing with a narcissist. But I think it's important that the people that listen to the show understand that it is something that somebody has to be diagnosed with. And like you said, only 5% of the population really is a true narcissist. But for those that are dealing with the folks that are that have traits of narcissism, I mean, hopefully this show did something for you, because whether they're diagnosed or not, you still are dealing with what could be an asshole, right? You know what I mean? So
call it what it is. Call that behavior out. That's not even being narcissist. Tell them exactly what it is that you're about. You're lying to me. You are gaslighting me. You do not own your behavior. Use the exact words. Take narcissist out your vocabulary. Tell them exactly what your problem is.
Yeah, just because you can't put that name tag on them doesn't mean what you're feeling is not real. And I hope that you guys got all of that out of this show. Andre, thank you for coming on this evening. I really hope that we'll be able to get you on again to talk about something else, man, because I was really digging this conversation. Please stay behind so we could talk a little bit more backstage. But for everybody out there, thank y'all for tuning in, listening. Please share this information if y'all is feeling it. And we'll see you next time. Peace.
Peace.
I'm not like Seth, man. I'm all behind. Come on, man.